Before you rise, you must begin. Before you win, you must step in. My heart pounds. My fingers tighten around my racket grip, slightly damp from nervous energy. I can hear my own breathing, deep, measured, controlled, masking the chaos inside. The referee calls my name. I step onto the court, the walls closing in around me like a gladiator stepping into an arena. The scoreboard flashes, love all. Shunya, shunya. Zero, the start of every match, the start of every journey. It's where all possibilities exist. And yet, for some reason, we fear it. One day, I was on court wrapping up my session, and I noticed a girl standing near the glass. She wasn't there to play, just checking things out. So I went up to her and offered her my racket and asked, "Do you want to give it a try?" She hesitated, then said, "Nahi, mujhe nahi aata." That is the most common response, actually. "Mujhe nahi aata." Of course, nahi aata. That's the whole point of learning. Nobody knows how to play when they first pick up the racket. Nobody knows how to do anything when they first begin. Yet, we hesitate. We attach fear to starting from scratch, as if not knowing something is a weakness. But here's the thing, everything begins at zero. Every champion, every expert, every leader. You, me, all of us. We all started from Shunya. So why are we so afraid of it? Hi everyone, my name is Janet and I am a professional squash player. And can you believe it? I wrote a poetry book. Crazy, right? But it's true. It's called Keep Smiling, my book of rhyme and reason. And it just got listed on Amazon a few days ago. It's a childhood dream come true, and I'm really proud of myself for achieving this milestone. The book is about my experiences playing on the tour, competing, coaching, working, learning, living, the highs, the lows, everything in between, and finding moments to smile about through it all. I grew up a Fauji kid. My dad, Wing Commander K.K. Verma, served in the Indian Air Force. My mom, a doctor, a mother and child specialist. And then there was me, the sports person. No nepotism, no shortcuts, just an active kid who loved to play. I was that Miss School Spirit type, very involved in everything, sports head girl, co editor of the school magazine, uh, founder of the school MUN club, and I played on like 5 different sports teams, mostly because we were always short on sports girls. Then came college. I got sports quota admission into Jesus and Mary College. And there was my friends were struggling to meet the cutoffs, and I got in, and my fees was waived off, and I was getting on top of that, I was getting food allowance to continue training. Like, what more could you ask for? It was, the feeling was incredible. Then I decided to leave that cushy comfort bubble and step into the world of professional squash, starting from zero again, literally, zero ranking points. Huge reality check, humbling experience, losing matches, meeting incredible pros from around the world. Turning pro was a crazy decision at that time, to be honest. There were only 3 other girls pursuing it full time, and they were all training at expensive, fancy academies abroad. And then there was me, fully made in India, coached by my dad. By the way, huge gratitude to my parents for supporting me and allowing me to follow my dreams. Back then, only 3 girls were playing professionally. Today, there are 40. That is another power of zero. Quick question though. How many of you here have traveled solo? How many of you have taken a solo trip? Okay, no, not that many. That's surprising. So, first of all, huge thanks to my strict mom for allowing me and trusting me to travel alone for tournaments. If you haven't traveled solo yet, highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. It's it's challenging, but once you get the hang of it, it's the most rewarding experience you can gift yourself. It builds so much character, whether you like it or not. Like this one time, I was stranded at New York's LaGuardia airport all by myself. I had missed my connecting flight because of a snowstorm. Bad weather delayed my bus from JFK, the John F. Kennedy International Airport, to LaGuardia, which is, even though it's in the same city. But by the time I got to LaGuardia, I had missed my flight. It was too late, and there were no flights. The counters were going to open the next day at 7 a.m. And it was just me and my squash kit bag, no network on my phone. And it was a little bit daunting, scary even. But I realized I had to figure things out as I go. That lesson came in handy again when later that year I was playing a set of 3 tournaments in Canada. It was a long, cold trip, and the first 2 tournaments didn't go that well. I was disappointed. But as an athlete, you don't have time to dwell. You have to refocus and move on. So instead of taking a quick flight to my next tournament destination, I decided to reset in a different way. I took a train journey. I took a train journey from Vancouver to Toronto, then another train journey from Toronto to London, then a bus journey from London to Sarnia. Yeah, so 3 days on the Via Rail, just watching the breathtaking views, making friends, eating local food, just slowing down for a bit. And when I arrived at my third tournament destination, I played my best squash yet. I won some really tough matches and reached the semi-finals. Shortly after that breakthrough, I broke into the top 100 in the world, a feat that was only achieved by 8 other women before me. Sometimes things don't go as planned, but that doesn't mean that they won't work out for the better. Like this one, another time during the state team trials, I made it all the way to the final. We had to play the final match for the number 1 position on the team. It was close, so close, but I lost. I was heartbroken because I really wanted to be the top player. And instead, I was going as number 2. It stung. But when we reached the nationals, something incredible happened. The way the playing order worked out, for both the semi-finals and finals, our team was tied at 1-all. And guess whose match was the decider? Mine. Everyone was counting on me. My teammates, our parents, our friends. The pressure was so intense. But I played my heart out and won both those matches, and we won the gold medal. And in that moment, I realized sometimes things don't happen the way you want them to, they happen the way they need to. So, before wrapping up, let me ask you one last question. How many of you have faced a setback that made you feel like you were back at zero? The truth is, zero isn't a bad place to be. Each setback, whether it was losing ranking points, missing a flight, or losing a match, was just another starting point and not the ending. Success isn't linear, but if you keep showing up, keep pushing forward, eventually things do fall into place. Whether it's picking up a sport, or writing a book, or traveling solo, just start. Shunya to infinity, one step at a time. And if there's one lesson from sport that I've learned, to quote one of my favorite poems, If by Rudyard Kipling, if you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. Yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And what's more, you'll be a man, my son. Thank you.